What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the premium Bandai exclusive Dragon Ball SH Figuarts, Raditz. And so here we have Raditz posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Raditz does come with 4 different facial expressions. We do get the neutral expression that he has on him right now. We do get a smirking expression. We get a shocked expression. Then we get a standard Dragon Ball Z yelling expression. We also get 3 pairs of hands. We get a pair of fists, a pair of clenching hands, and then a pair of ki blasting hands. We also get a set of arms for Raditz to fold his arms, which that looks really nice. We do get 2 different versions of his tail. We do get one where it's wrapped around his waist, and then we get one where it's flowing freely. And then finally we do get a back piece for Raditz so you can have him displayed with a Tamashii Nation stand. Other than that, Raditz really doesn't come with anything else. I think a Ki Blast would have been really nice to have for this particular release, but that's neither here nor there, unfortunately. So what we're going to do now is take a closer look at Raditz. And so here we have a closer look at Raditz, and I think Bandai has done a really great job of capturing the look of Raditz from the anime. This is probably one of their best captures from how he looked in the anime. The face looks perfect. Everything about this figure looks good, and I do really appreciate the fact that they gave him his really long hair, and somehow they were able to make it better than Super Saiyan 3 Goku's. I'll explain that in a little bit, but yeah, they really did a good job capturing the look and feel of Raditz from the Saiyan saga when he first debuted. Now, despite him being engineered a little bit better than Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he still suffers from the same issues, being his hair is very, very dense and it makes him a little bit back heavy. It is a little bit better than Super Saiyan 3 Goku's, but it still makes him back heavy, so do be aware that when posing him around that the hair does have a tendency to make him lean back. That's probably why they include the second back piece for him, so you can have him with a display stand. But I really do like the fact that it does gap up right here, that it's not wedged up against his body. If it was wedged up against his body, that would make this piece of plastic so dense and so heavy that you'd never get him to stand on his own free will. So really good job of including that. Really do like the way he looks. Like I said, it's one of the best looking figures that we've gotten in a while, and he looks like he just jumped right out of these pages of the manga and right out of the screen from the anime. So kudos to Bandai for giving us this. So taking a look at his torso, he is wearing your standard Frieza Force Saiyan armor, which I think looks good. They actually engineered him a little bit better than the Ginyu Force, which I'm actually happy about. There are still some issues that we have with him. For starters, they did round off his chest right here, and that's one issue that the Ginyu Force have all had, is that the plates right here on his chest kind of form at a spike right here, but here it is rounded off so it doesn't get in the way as much. So really do like the engineering right there. Something I also do like is that his shoulder armor is actually double hinged. Most of the time when we see the shoulder armor, it only hinges like that, and that does prevent it from getting out of the way. Here we can actually pivot it up, and as you can see, that does a much better job of getting out of the way, and it does go all the way up. So really do like that double hinge right here. Now on mine there still is a gap. You can see it doesn't sit flush. I don't know what it is. It might just be the way his shoulder is engineered. Let's see. Actually, yeah, I think I just had the shoulder displayed differently, because nope, that gap is still there. Never mind. So yeah, mine does have a noticeable gap right here on this side. This side, not so much. You can see it doesn't bounce up as I touch it. This side does bounce up. But let's have a look at the back of the figure, because even though he does have his hair right here, they did a really good job with the paint and the way they made his armor look. The fact that it is glossy on the dark navy blue parts. It's almost black, but it's a really deep dark navy blue color. So really do like that they did a really fantastic job with that. It looks really nice. The line work is crisp. Now, one issue I have with it, they painted the lines right here on his abdomen, but everywhere else on the armor they didn't paint, and that's a little bit of a shame. They could have really done so much if they had just painted all the line work right here. I think that's a missed opportunity. They really should have painted that just to make the figure look a little bit better. And you see me fidgeting with this side. You can see there's something up with the left side of my Raditz armor. Like, all the bits don't seem to sit flush as they should. I wonder... No, it's not the way I have it posed, because look, if this side doesn't bounce around, this side is kind of still sticking out. It should actually be sitting flush like that, but it has a tendency to bounce itself out of position, and I don't know what that is. I may have to pop that off just to see what's going on right there, but that is an issue I need to point out. It's not the tail causing it, because if it was a tail... Yeah, something is definitely causing it. It might be the peg, it might be deformed in there. I'll have to pop that off and see what happens, but that is something to note on mine. Yours might not have that issue. Mine does, unfortunately. Now, Raditz, you can see his arms aren't symmetrical. We do have a red armband right here, and that looks really good. Then we go on to his gauntlets here. A missed opportunity to have the gauntlets have that same sheen as his armor. I think that's something that they should have really done with this figure, just to make him pop a little bit more. Have all this navy blue shine with a really nice high gloss. That would be really nice. But unfortunately, it doesn't, so that is to be desired a little bit. And then on his leg, he also still has that leg band, which looks really nice. It's painted well enough. You can see there's a little bit of slop on mine. It's nothing too major, and you'll never see it from a distance, so I'm perfectly okay with that. Musculature on Raditz looks really good, so they did a really fantastic job sculpting him. And then we go on to his boots, which again is lacking that gloss paint, which I really think they should have done. But overall, I still like the way he came out. And again, you can see right here, the left toe is out of alignment. And I don't know what's causing the left side of this figure to be out of alignment. The right side lines up much better than the left side. I don't know what's causing that. It's probably a defect in the mold, which is a shame because this is a premium figure from an exclusive site. So, yeah, I kind of wish that they had gone all the way and... worked out all that quality control. It just might be on mine, but I'm just saying if yours has that issue, it might be a universal issue, it might not. We'll just have to see as other people get theirs. But that's Raditz for you guys. Really, really happy with the detailing on him, and he looks fantastic. So with that out of the way, let's actually get him compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Raditz posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Raditz posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Raditz posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. Here we have Raditz posed next to a Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku and a Saiyan Saga Vegeta. And so here we have Raditz posed next to a Proud Namekian Piccolo and a Wrath State Broly. So as you can see, Raditz is on the larger scale for the Dragon Ball Z figures, but he's not the biggest one that we've gotten, so I really do like he is taller than most figures. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to his articulation. Now we can pop his face off really fast just so we can see what's going on under his head. You can see we have a really impressive hinge, and that hinge is very, very stiff, and I think that's really necessary, seeing as how his hair is one of the heaviest parts on this figure. Really do like that. Now, with that hinge means we can't tilt his head side to side. All we can do is swivel it left and right, which that's all we're going to be able to get out of Raditz's head here. Unfortunately, it's just the way that's designed that we only get a swivel at the head. At the neck, he can move it better. You can see he does move down. He doesn't really look up, which is unfortunate. That hinge is going to be providing all the upwards movement. He really can't tilt his head side to side because of how his neck is designed. So the only articulation his head really has is swivel and hinging back and forth. So do keep that in mind when posing Raditz. We do have a ball joint here at the hair, and that does function really well. You can see it goes out and then goes in. If you have it in, it makes it so much easier posing him because the weight curves down and makes it easier for him to stand and gives him a better center balance. If you do have his hair out, you can see it makes him that much heavier, but down like that, it actually works perfectly fine. As I already discussed, the shoulder pads here are on or not ball hinges, but double hinge right here. We do have a butterfly joint which pivots out to about there, and something I've noticed is that his butterfly joint actually rotates, so you can actually have his arm pose any way you want. You can see it's rotating on that joint, so really do like that. His arm is on a ball socket, so that also helps with the movement or going around. Maybe that's why. No, the gap is still there. I thought that the way I had his shoulder position meant the gap would go away, but it doesn't. His arm is kind of stiff on this side, but it does do a full 360. You just gotta watch out for everything here. His armor, his hair, there's so much to get caught. Arm does go out fairly well. I do like the range on his shoulder going out to the side. We do have a bicep swivel, and when I got him out of packaging, this bicep was really stiff, but it has loosened up on me, so I really like the fact that it got looser rather than tighter. He has a double joint elbow, which works really nice. We do have a ball hinge here at the wrist, so he can move in and out at the wrist, and we can rotate that joint for an up and down hinge. It is a little bit hindered because of how his armor is designed, so keep that in mind when posing Raditz. I want to say he has a ball joint here at the torso, but it doesn't provide any tilt, so it might just be a ball hinge. As you can see, he doesn't pop up like your regular Dragon Ball figure, so it might just be a straight ball hinge that Raditz has, because he's not really moving like everything else, and his face just popped off, which I'm perfectly okay with that. I want to know what's going on in there. It might just be a simple ball hinge, but it doesn't provide any side-to-side movement, and it does rotate, so there is that. So right here at his waist, let's see what we got. We do have a swivel, and appears to be a ball joint, but it does have very limited range because of how much armor he has going on, which is unfortunate. Legs do kick forward to about there, and I do like the fact that the armor gets out of the way. Legs go out to the side. How far do they go? That's a respectable amount. They go out pretty far. We do have a swivel here at the thigh. Double bend at the knee, no problems there. We finally have a ball hinge here at the ankle. It's no longer a ball joint, so it does hinge up and down. We do have some rocker ankle, but unfortunately the pivot or the rotation isn't there anymore, so most of your rotation is going to be here at the thigh. But I'm perfectly okay with this setup because the hinge works better than a ball joint, especially with how much hair that we have here. It makes Raditz standing so much easier. And then we do have forward-facing pin for rocker ankle, and then we have a toe hinge. So overall, Raditz here is a pretty decent figure in terms of articulation. It's not the best that we've seen, but it's absolutely not the worst by any stretch of the imagination. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Raditz posed for my final thoughts, and overall really liking the way this figure came out. And after popping him apart and seeing that his brown parts are all molded plastic, I think I like this figure a little bit better, although it calls into question on why didn't they use some paint, because there's very little paint on this figure after popping him apart. They didn't really use too much paint on him, and I feel like a little bit of shading or even some line work in his armor would have been welcomed, especially because we got line work on his abdomen. I don't understand why we didn't get any lines on his shoulders, the back, or his side plates. That's something that really confuses me, to be quite honest. But overall, Bandai knocked it out of the park with this figure. He looks like he just jumped out of the anime. The faces on him look really nice. And one thing Bandai is getting better at is making these faces. And I think Raditz here is probably one of their best examples of how much better they are getting at making these faces. Now, the only problem with this figure is getting hold of him. At the time I'm making this video, he is no longer available on the P-Bandai website, and he is sold out at other retailers, although I don't think they've received their shipment yet. Bandai just barely started shipping out the people that ordered from P-Bandai, and getting hold of this Raditz might be harder than you think, seeing as how he is a premium Bandai exclusive figure, which I haven't had no problem getting the premium Bandai exclusive figures at all. So if you are looking for Raditz here, secondhand market is probably going to be the best bet, or finding Or cross your fingers and hope somebody's pre-order cancels or doesn't go through. That way you get your shot at Raditz. Otherwise, be expecting to pay a lot of money for this figure. A lot of premium Bandai figures shoot up aftermarket, seeing as how they don't get a reissue and they haven't been re-released. So if you missed out on Raditz, definitely try getting him on one of those other retailers like Big Bad Toy Store or even a second-hand dealer on Amazon, because his value is only going to go up. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Dragon Ball videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.